friends? Welcome back to Live at the Stexy. Live at the Roxy with Steph Sabraw. I love that at the end of the video, you can start hearing what's happening behind. I unmuted your mic and it's just like crunch, crunch, crunch.
You guys, I'm starving.
She's literally starving.
Literally. I needed a quick bite. Now I'm ready to go.
A quick Quibi? What?
A short clip?
Yeah. Guys, Brett Hankinson, Miles Cosgrove, Jonathan Mattingly, rest of the cops who killed Breonna Taylor. Day 10 on this show alone. So we got many more shows ahead in which we will just keep fucking naming Brett, Miles, and Jonathan until they're goddamn arrested. Steph said her prediction was another month.
Oprah Magazine just posted about it, made a whole article about it. It was the front cover.
I mean, I don't mean to literally open every show talking about it for 15 minutes, but I kind of tend to do that because no shit they did. Mm-hmm. Like, this is crazy. They're still like
so
going
obvious
to the grocery store and buying Oreos and like living life. Like, what the fuck? All right. We have other things to talk about today on this show, though. Honestly, sorry in advance. A whole lot of fuck no news coming our way today. There was 35 former employees of the Ellen Show that are complaining about sexual harassment and misconduct from people who are higher in charge at the Ellen Show. We'll be talking about that. 35. That's a fucking lot. Jim Jordan, who is a representative, is like a straight up bully to Dr. Fauci. I mean, that was one of the toughest 5.5-minute videos I've seen. Watching a like grown ass man straight up bully Dr. Fauci it's so fucked up, and we'll break that down. If you're sitting here and you're feeling poor, this won't help. Billionaires, their wealth increased during this time. And I knew we talked about on the show that their wealth had increased. And I was thinking, maybe they're like tiny bit more wealthy. They're just not plummeting. No, billionaires' wealth increased by $637 billion. So that's over $500 billion. So just so you know, if you're feeling,
how does that happen?
We'll talk about it. I watched a whole video on it. It was fucking crazy. And then last night, as I was searching through the internet, I saw that Ghislaine Maxwell's email correspondence was released. The court released documents from Ghislaine Maxwell communicating with Jeffrey Epstein. She said she hadn't had communication with him in over 10 years. And there was a letter, an email from, I think, 2014? Basically like a mock draft from her to him that we'll talk about. It was very strange, and his response to it as well. Pretty fucked up. So yeah, Ghislaine Maxwell is the modern day evil devil, and same with Jeffrey Epstein. Some say she's even worse than he is. I don't know about that. I think pretty equal match.
Match they were meant for each other.
Totally. And for total destruction. Everybody say hello to Glenda today.
Hello, Glenda.
Glenda the good bunny. And also don't forget Super Chat, Streamlabs, and all that great stuff coming in right now from the Super Chat. Elwood Blues says, Happy Friday. Is Steph hardwiring her internet with that antenna on her?
You bet your bottom dollar I am. That's why this shit is what is it?
Beep, boop.
It's not 5G for computer internet, right? Like, what's fast internet on a computer?
Fire.
Fire.
No, I don't know what it's called, but there is a thing.
Tornado.
High-speed internet. Is that what it's called? I don't know what the fuck it is.
You're a smart one.
72 says, I'm totally digging whatever's going on with Steph's hair today. # Steph chopsticks.
Thank you.
Totally. Me too.
Yeah. Well, I woke up super depressed. It's my grandma's 93rd, or would have been her 93rd birthday.
Oh, I saw that you posted something about this. It was such a beautiful, the 2 posts, Steph.
Yeah. Thanks. You were there for the tattoo that I got.
Yeah, that was so beautiful.
Yeah. So
the tea, and then it inspired me with my green tea today. But I was
I need to get a cup. I'll have one with you later too.
Yeah,
but
course.
I was really, really depressed, but I've always said she speaks to me through her clothes. And I was like, I don't even want to wear clothes. I just want to stay in bed. And I open my closet and I see one of the kimonos that I have of hers. So it's like, okay, so she wants me to be extra today.
Wait,
I
is that
got
what you're
this.
wearing right now? I can't. I haven't even seen it.
I'll post a picture.
Oh, I'll probably take that picture. That looks awesome. That's so cool. Steph, how long has she been gone for?
Since I was 17. So now it's 10 years.
10 years.
Yeah.
What before I ask that question, just feeling wise in your gut, like how long did you feel like she had been gone?
Not long. It feels like a few years, maybe. Because it's just one of those that you just never get over. The whole family, because she was just so, so, so special. You can't put it into words. So we're just like, okay, at least we have each other, but that loss is never going to be filled.
What do you think she'd be doing during pandemic? Do you ever think about that, or is that just my psycho brain?
Yeah. She would be chilling, drinking green tea, taking care of my grandpa. That's it. Reading. Like, posted.
I feel like, especially with that generation, like probably very few complaints.
No, that's one thing about both of my grandparents is never in my life. My grandpa had Parkinson's basically my entire life. So, and their religion didn't believe in medicine. And so he didn't take any medicine for it. And so
what religion is that?
It's like a sector. Yeah, it's like a sector of Christianity, but it had to do, my grandma was Buddhist too, and growing up. So it was like kind of like a mixture of both of their beliefs, that they were more just Eastern medicine type of people, but never, ever once complained, both of them. So it's one of the best qualities to have.
I was talking to Grammy about this the other day, and I said, you do not complain about anything. You nag. When are you going to find a boyfriend? How many times are you coming over? But that's like a Jewish guilt thing. But I don't ever hear her, like, she will be in agony. Her knees will be hurting. Her back will be hurting. And like, she just won't say anything. She's like, what's the point?
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. I bitch about a lot of things. What's the point in that?
I need that energy. No complaining energy. That's why everyone wanted to be around them.
Yeah, that's so true. Maybe, how do we adopt that? Well, actually, you don't bitch about much.
Yeah, I don't.
I think you bitch more in your head than you do out loud. And like that, you can't really help.
Yeah. In my head, I internalize a lot of things and then I get over it really, really quickly. My turnaround rate is superhero level.
Mine is not. I feel like it used to be. I am what is it when you stew in something? But was it permeate?
Yeah.
That. Woof. Damn. And also, I love that you posted your tattoo. I know I said that a little bit, but it was so cute. Are you happy that you just got the first part, or do you wish that you had the second part now?
Yeah. So the whole letter, if you guys see on my Instagram story, it says "Much love, Grandpa and Grandma." And I went in with Roxy thinking I'm going to get the whole thing, and because I was just obsessed with it for 5 years. I sat on this tattoo idea. And I never once thought about just getting much love. And Roxy brought up a good point. She's like, you can always add Grandpa and Grandma, but have you thought about like literally having the words Grandpa and Grandma tattooed on your body? Does that make you feel any sort of way? And I was like, you know what? It does. And I can get it if I want, but I love that it just says much love.
I had thought about it too with because my tattoo is from my mom's font too in a letter. And I had thought about also like having her name on me or mom or anything. And then I was just like, I don't know. It feels like 90% of the situations I might want that, but there's 10% where like, I just don't know that I want it to say like mommy or like something on me. No. And by the way, if you have that on you at home, no judgment at all. Just like,
no, I almost did it, but then I just thought about maybe not.
And maybe one day.
Yeah, maybe one day I'll add it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I love it as is.
I am sweating so bad
Me
right
too.
now. Wait, but you have AC.
I know, but it's so hot out.
Yeah, I know. It is really hot. Going back into the super chat, Ross Bristow says, last night was bad. I was crying while I writing something, but I felt better because I was honest. It was a 50-50 thing for me. Okay, let's break this down. Yeah, last night fucking sucked. I'm with you.
Yeah.
It sucked.
I agree.
Maybe that was a universe thing. I wonder what you were writing, maybe a letter kind of thing. And then what do you think it was a 50-50 thing means? Just like 50-50 good, 50-50 bad, like the honest versus the crying. It's so hard to decipher emotions recently. Like,
I know.
what am I feeling? Is it legitimate that I'm feeling this? Is it real that I'm feeling this? How long will this feeling last? So I completely understand. Wait, let me see what this is. Carlos Camijo said Boston bomber death sentence overturned. Just broke. Let's see.
That'd be insanity.
Okay, yeah, 30. This is 6 minutes ago, 30 minutes ago. Boston bomber, I'm not going to say his name, death sentence overturned by federal appeals court. 3-judge panel of the First U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals ordered a new penalty phase trial, finding that the judge who oversaw the case didn't sufficiently vet jurors for biases.
What?
But make no mistake, he will spend his remaining days locked up in prison, with the only matter remaining being whether he will die by execution.
Oh.
Okay, I haven't read this article and I don't know enough about it, but my initial thoughts are that I was talking to you guys after seeing Just Mercy about how we still get 1 in 9 death, like people that we sentenced to death, 1 in 9 of them are proved innocent later. And so until we figure that shit out, I have a really hard time with us sentencing people to death, except for people who are with beyond reasonable doubt, without a doubt, the person who did something. You are on camera, you have admitted to it, you are like, it's clearly you, and all of the research, every email, everything that was like gathered. So, and you're a terrorist. So,
Facts.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like I can't really have it both ways, where it's like, I believe that the death sentence is not great because we are wrongfully accusing people 1 in 9 fucking times, which is such a high number. But like, this guy is not wrongfully accused and took many people's lives and limbs. So I don't know. What do you think, Steph?
Yeah, I had this discussion with my parents because every year I kind of develop a new shade of how I feel about the death sentence and what that would look like. And I think the fact that I do go back and forth with it is probably, I should end on, maybe no one deserves, like, we can't make the decision of who gets to live and die other than, I don't know, the universe. But with him, when there's no like, you just know there's so much evidence in all areas, it's hard to say, I don't know, he shouldn't be here, but I don't know if I'm to say.
Yeah, like, I don't know that I think it's worse to die than it is to spend the rest of your life undoubtedly in prison.
Mm-hmm.
I think I might be okay with that, but it is weird that that's what he was sentenced to, and then that's overturning, like, because it feels like that's a victory for him.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll gather my thoughts on it and talk about it more maybe tomorrow. Going back into the super chat, though, Ross Bristow was clarifying and said it was 50-50 because I felt bad writing it to the person, but I needed to get it out. It felt like weight was off my chest. Hey, I know a thing or two about feeling like you have to let somebody know something. And I do, based on Steph's recommendation, my recommendation, I do believe that when you're writing things prior to sending them, sit on them. Because that 50% that's for you, that's why you're really doing it. And then if you still need to send it in a few days, then you'll know. A few weeks even. Sit on things. Because you can't take back something once you send it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, going into the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Weston Ira says, Stexiness is contagious. The ultra marathon runner I mentioned yesterday in Wisconsin Supreme Court Justice elect Jill Karofsky, as Barr denies systemic racism policing, a Nevada sheriff tells library, don't call 911 for supporting BLM. I'm COVID free. I don't understand things you say, Weston Ira, but I'm so here for you all the time. Steph, you've never looked cuter. So let's break this down. The ultra marathon runner I mentioned yesterday in Wisconsin Supreme Court Justice elect Jill Karofsky, period. Okay. As Barr, BARR, denies systemic racism in policing, comma, A Nevada sheriff tells library, don't call 911 for supporting BLM. Any idea what that means?
Oh, if you support BLM, then you no longer have the right to call 911. Is that what he's saying?
I don't know. And then I'm COVID free. That part I get. Congratulations on
Congratulations.
That's great. Sorry that I don't fully understand the rest of it. Morse code Z. Thank you so much. Morse code says, I haven't been able to watch for a few days, feeling the withdrawal. Hope you're having a better week. I'm looking forward to another great conversation. Right now, I don't feel like things are getting better at all. They're just like morphing. Do you know what I mean? Like my emotions are varying, but they're not getting better. They're just kind of shifting.
Yeah, it's weird because we're kind of in this standstill moment waiting for leadership to make anything clear to us or easier for us, but it's not going to happen. So the rest of us are just navigating our emotions in the little quarantine spaces that we exist in and hoping for a better, a better tomorrow.
Where are you sitting right now? Like
in
what
the
is
living
what
room?
Are you on?
Kitchen's in the back with Rhea.
Because I'm thinking is your couch to your right now?
No, I'm on the couch.
But the couch doesn't have that behind it. The couch has a wall behind it.
Oh, we moved it.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Feng shui?
Yeah. Cool. You'll see when you come in, it's way cuter like this.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
Rhea did it. She goes on these like organization days.
Kicks. That's great.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Leonard Kim in the Streamlabs just showing support. Leonard Kim, you rock. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Hitman Hudson says, hey, Roxy, I have more questions for Steph about witchcraft. Is Alanis Morissette a witch? Is Florence Pugh? Is Billie Eilish? Are there any difficulties to being a witch that we don't know about? How can we best support you through said difficulties?
Thank you so much. Yes, all of those women are witches. Great eye. You clearly have an eye for witchcraft. So 100%. Good job with that.
And Stevie Nicks, Queen Witch.
Stevie Nicks is definitely a witch. In terms of, is there any negatives to being a witch?
Well, difficulties.
Difficulties. Yeah, usually witches tend to be emotional. So navigating that can be difficult. Cool. But there's tools we can cope with.
Love the question. Thank you. Glenn Caesar says, hello, Roxy and Steph. Love ya. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Wishing you both and all the Rockstars band a super happy and sunshine-filled rest of your Friday. Sending lots of bunnies to you all. Peace, love, and hugs. Hashtag the Rockstars band rules. Thanks, Glenn. Katie the Good Witch says, as Spencer Gilbert pointed out, the plot for Pixar's Luca basically sounds like an animated Call Me By Your Name for kids, which is hilarious, and I'm here for it. Huh. Is it an LGBTQ story?
That'd be amazing.
It would be amazing, but I kind of doubt that they're doing that.
Yeah, I don't know if Pixar's there.
I don't think they're there.
I hope.
That would be cool, and we will see. Mr. Vajou said, I want to bring attention to the atrocities in China with their inhumane treatment of Muslim, how do you say this word? Uyghurs? Do you know? 3 million tortured in concentration camps and no one talking about it. Thanks for always talking about important topics. Love you girls. Hi, Steph. I am super duper uneducated when it comes to what's going on with Muslims in China. So I don't know enough to even speak about it, considering I don't even know what the word after Muslim is here. That sounds fucking horrible. I didn't realize that there were concentration camps in China holding Muslim people, especially not 3 million being tortured. What form of education do you have on this stuff?
Not a lot, but I will definitely do it this week because it's been popping up more and I've seen more and more people speak on it, which makes me know that I'm just behind and I really, really need to educate myself.
Yeah, I know some of what's going on in China, but nothing about the camps. So they're saying John Oliver has a good piece on it. Okay, I'll definitely watch that. It's Uyghur. Is that what I said? Uyghur. Mm-hmm. Okay, D-Train in here in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/RoxyStrider. By the way, Mr. Vaju, thank you for holding us accountable so that now I know I need to go look into it. D-Train says, if you guys had the ability to time travel and your mission was to prevent the coronavirus from happening, where would you go and who would you speak to first?
Wait, can you ask that question again?
If you guys had the ability to time travel and your mission was to prevent the coronavirus from happening, where would you go and who would you speak to first?
Oh. I guess I would go to Wuhan and see what I could figure out.
Straight up. I don't know who I would speak to. Like,
I'd go to the Pandemic and Disease Control Center that they have there. Maybe go to the government officials, see what's cooking, see what info they have. Maybe it started somewhere else that they know of.
Yeah, talk to the bat eating child.
Yeah. Speak to the bats, because I can also speak I can speak in animal languages when I can time travel.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know that we would be able to stop it fully, but you never know.
You never know.
Weston Ira says, mention the runner in a Streamlab yesterday. Attorney General Barr is who denied systemic racism recently. Also, hey, Steph.
Yeah.
But I don't get the police part still, but I'm with you most of the time,
and
Weston. And hi. And hey, hi, hello. All right, let's talk a little bit of news. I guess while we're kind of on a little bit of a political kick, we can talk about this 5.5-minute video that we watched, Steph, of Representative Jim Jordan, who was just like straight up bullying Dr. Fauci. I don't know how to say it any other way. He was trying to it was very clear what Jim Jordan wanted was for Dr. Fauci to say protests are spreading coronavirus.
Yeah.
And Dr. Fauci was super duper unwilling to say that. When you do that, your mic just keeps going.
Oh, sorry.
Dr. Fauci was not going to say that. And so they have like a 5.5-minute standoff in which Jim Jordan is like, so what you're saying is coronavirus is being spread by protests and we need to forcefully stop protests. And Dr. Fauci is like, I'm like absolutely not saying that. And Jim Jordan's like, what I'm hearing you say is, and it goes like that for 5 minutes. I highly recommend you watch it. It seemed to me, and I don't watch tons of these, but I do watch some of these videos in which you're seeing two political figures go at each other. It seemed to me like this one was more egregious than usual. Steph, what did you make of it?
I thought he was completely out of line.
Jim Jordan
was completely out of line, so disrespectful. I mean, you're just seeing consistently the male congressmen, the Republicans usually are becoming disgraces, like Ted Yoho. Like, what are you? It's just too aggressive. It's too much. It's so inappropriate. And also, what was your point? You clearly wanted him to say something, but he wasn't going to, and you just became a bully. Yeah. And if we looked at the protests, there wasn't spikings in cases because everyone did wear masks. Like, everyone was surprised. I was expecting like a huge turn and a lot of more cases were going to be caused because of the protest, but it didn't seem like that.
Also, it's not Dr. Fauci's job to say how the government should handle protesters.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not his job. And I think he was very clear on that. He was like, I can give recommendations that people shouldn't go into large crowds during a pandemic.
And also, how obviously biased is he?
Jim Jordan.
Yeah. Because it's like you really wanted everyone to know that you think people are beating up police officers and all the protests are violent and this and that churchgoers can't even see their Jesus. Like, it's so obviously biased and inappropriate.
What did you think? Okay, so if you take out, though, the fact that Jim Jordan's clearly an ass and that we love Fauci, so take those things out for a second. What do you think about the fact that people can't go to church right now in a lot of places? That was something that Jim Jordan kept bringing up. Like, how can we can't stop people from protesting, but we can stop people from practicing their faith. again, the way he phrased it was like a jackass, but just that concept in general, what do you think?
Yeah, I do think that it is unfortunate for people who can't go to their church and practice their faith in that manner. For a lot of people, including my parents, it's a really important part of their week. And it's very, very crucial to them. But they have digital and they've been doing a streaming service every Sunday. So it's a little bit different in terms of you're still able to get the word of God or whatever you are praying to, whatever message it is for the day, you can still get that.
Right. It's not like you cannot practice your
Yeah.
faith at all. You just can't do it at a congregation.
Yes. Whereas a protest is completely different in its essence. So you can't really compare the two, but I understand the frustration. It's just one of those things, like in all things in politics, it is what it is. You can't stop people from going outside.
Yeah.
But you can from an indoor location.
Unless we're not in a democracy, unless we change the entire United States, what we stand for. So I thought that was, it did make me think, because I'm a not religious person, and I have honestly pretty low tolerance for religion a lot of times. It's something I'm definitely working on as somebody who has seen a lot of the negative sides of religion. I think that I have a lot of turmoil inside about religion, but at the same time, I was questioning myself, because I'm this is something that's very important to people. I don't know that right now we should be able to stop people from going to churches. I don't know about that. I think that I personally wouldn't, and I would recommend your parents didn't, because you don't want them to get ill. But I don't know that as a government, with the separation of church and state, that we should be able to stop people from congregating at a religious ground.
It's also kind of I don't know about actually saying you can't do this, but I do think that I thought about the mindset that I went into with this protest. I think about this of coronavirus. I take it really, really serious. I understand that 150,000 plus and climbing people have died, and that is disgusting and disturbing. So, and I have my grandparents to look after and my family too. So I take it so seriously. That's how serious the protests were to me. I was literally at a point in my mind where I'm like, I am willing to die for the cause, because there's nothing to me that matters more than this fight right now. And so I can't say the same for going to one service in person.
Do you think some people can?
Maybe, yeah. So that's where I feel the complication with it. But
yeah, it's hard, because I feel like what we are built on is recommendations. You're not really allowed to, in the United States, stop people from doing certain things. You can some things, but we are a place where really all you can do is recommend, which is what Fauci is doing. And he's not singling out church, and he's not singling out protests. He is recommending, if you do not want to get COVID and you don't want this to spread, that you do not gather in large groups.
Mm-hmm.
That's his recommendation.
Mm-hmm.
And I do feel like normally in this country, being a country built on recommendations is great for us. But in a COVID situation, this is why we are doing so much worse than other countries, because other countries are like, this isn't a fucking recommendation, stay home.
Yeah, it's true.
So I feel conflicted on that, because Absolutely. Yes, we want our freedom, and yes, I want to trust that everybody will be safe and will wear a mask, but we're looking, and that's not what's happening.
Yeah, it's true. It's the price of democracy and the mindset of democracy and the mindset of Americans in particular. I'm thinking, if I was in a different country, and we've talked about this, our reaction as a people as a whole is so definitive of what people think of Americans, just so fucking entitled that we refuse to listen.
Yeah. Speaking of people who are incredibly entitled, let's talk about what's happening right now in this country with our billionaires. Billionaires are getting richer right now. That is a fact. People who have billions of dollars have increased their wealth by $637 billion during this time, as our unemployment rate is going up and up, and people are having a hard time paying their bills, eating food, putting a roof over their head, and the $600 a week is about to go away tomorrow. Wow, tomorrow's August. Tomorrow. and billionaires are making billions more. I watched this ridiculously informative and incredibly upsetting video on Twitter. Leave it to Twitter. That was talking about which billionaires, and it's all the billionaires that you know, obviously. The Bezos, the creator of Microsoft, like every billionaire who's the creator, the president of Zoom, like everybody that you would think that already was a billionaire and now is increasing their wealth by like 60 billion, 17 billion, 12 billion, 7 billion, which is not even a tangible number for me, like billion anything. This is more of a, I don't have recommendations. I just like am pissed.
Yeah.
Like I'm just fucking pissed. This is disgusting.
I mean, more than ever this pandemic, I've considered capitalism and socialism and communism and like really, really understanding what it means. And with capitalism, we're really fighting for it, but there's not a real destination for a lot of us because it is working how it is intended to work. The rich get richer and the poor get poorer, and we have this fantasy, and I do wish it could work in a little bit better because it's nice that we have the opportunity to make so much money in America, but it's kind of repulsive when you really think about it.
Do you think there should be a cap on how much money somebody can have?
I get so worried with putting caps or things on anything, just like abortion, because the more you do it, the more you just little it down until it's completely controlled. And I think it's the same thing with money. So I get really cautious when I speak on it. But I do think in terms of taxes, they should get taxed.
Like, why is Jeff Bezos allowed to have like hundreds of billions of dollars?
Why is his wife such a bad bitch?
I know, it's so true.
Divorced
right?
him. Yeah. Ex-wife. Divorced him, took half his money, and now already donated
so much.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Yeah, she's crazy. Awesome. But I feel like, and this is nothing against Bezos. I'm not Darina who like is coming after him because obviously dude's a fucking genius.
Innovators are important.
Yep, they are. And clearly dude's a fucking genius. And I'm a massive, massive Amazon user. So who am I to go after him? I just don't know that somebody, when you have so much more money than you could ever do anything with, and there are illnesses and diseases out there and pandemics and things that like, if they had your money, they would save lives.
Money can solve anything.
It's fucking crazy to me. Like, does that make sense?
Yes.
Like that, it's just fucked up.
He could cure cancer.
Yeah,
straight up. It's about money. The more money, that's why certain diseases are doing way better in terms of their research and ability to live with them is because of money and donations put into it. So it's just like having that idea and knowing that you have the money, and obviously you're a genius. You understand what you can do with that money, and then not is just bizarre.
I know. So that really, again, there's not much to speak about here. Just like, fuck this.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck this. Mm-hmm. Sir Joker in the super chat said, "Hello, ladies. Roxy, glad you liked the poem." Sir Joker wrote me on Patreon this like incredibly beautiful poem that was so heartfelt about the show and me, and it was amazing. Which would you be, wolf, vampire, ghost, zombie, or serial killer? Which would you be and why? I did not know that serial killer was in the same list of like supernatural beings, but I've thought about this many, many times, and my absolute answer is vampire.
Yeah, 100%.
100%.
Vampires are elite.
And live forever, and also like feel things so intensely. It's like kind of being like on ecstasy all the time. And
are very powerful.
And usually really hot and stay that same age. Yeah, I mean, like, it's definitely vampire. Serial killer. What a fucking bizarro one to put in that list. I don't know about that. A wolf would be cool for a few days, though.
Yeah, it would.
All right, this one's from Simply Emily, who said there was a sheriff who told the local library to never to call 911 again because the library put out a statement that they support Black Lives Matter.
Oh.
All right, that's fucking stupid.
You can like straight up go fuck yourself.
Yeah. Okay, so because I believe Black Lives Matter, that means that if we're getting robbed, then I'm fucked.
Also, I'm paying your salary with my
Yeah.
taxes, so I will call you.
And also, you guys don't actually prevent things from happening typically, so
It's true.
might not even be the most helpful move. Jake Yakoveta in the streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer says the Uyghurs are being forced into labor camps and are making a lot of face masks and other personal protective equipment that's being sent to America. Wow, that's fucking wild. I wonder like how you track which masks and what's being made. Oh my God. So it sounds like they're labor camps. It's fucking crazy. More Streamlabs. Yeah, that's what you said. Labor camps. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Bojack said, must read that comedian Brian Callen has been accused of sexual assault by 4 women and will not be appearing in season 8 of The Goldbergs. Looks like the studio and network are trying to get ahead of things now rather than waiting for a formal investigation. I did not read that. Did you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Yikes. We'll look into that and discuss tomorrow also, I guess. Holy shit. Glenn Caesar says, Roxy and Steph, is this from Al Moses 210 in the live chat? Quote, Jim Jordan has a teeny peeny. Laugh my ass off. Thanks for saying it, Al Moses. LDE for sure. Yeah, little dick energy all day. Katie the Good Witch said, coming from a cult background, church hierarchy is very dependent on congregating. Stop meeting together and leaders start to lose their power over others, not to mention their money. That's why they're inciting people against the recommendations. Interesting. Katie, you always inform me of things when it comes to the church that I was not aware of. So thank you for letting us know. Broken Blue says, it would cost $20 billion to end homelessness. Jeff Bezos would still be worth $162 billion if he dropped $20 billion. What a lunatic. How does he sleep? Also, remember that magazine cover the Rolling Stones did on the Boston bomber? SMH. Yeah, of course I fucking remember that. You know, I've heard this statistic a lot. This is going to be a really unpopular thing I'm about to say, so
I'm buckled up.
I've heard this statistic a lot that it would cost $20 billion to end homelessness. But I don't really feel like I know what that means. Like for a year or like forever? What would don't you then need to also, is that like to provide housing for all the homeless people? And for how long? Because I don't really, sometimes stats get thrown out there and I just take them and I use them. But then like sometimes when I stop and think about them, I'm like, well, wouldn't we need to provide homeless people with jobs so that they could stay not being homeless? And isn't a large percentage of the homeless population mentally ill? And so is it providing help for them to do like what would the $20 billion actually do? Does that make sense? Am I sounding like a dick?
No, totally. Because homelessness isn't like buying a TV. It's not a palpable thing. It's a very complex whole body dimensional issue. So I think it would be programs in like institutional type of things that we built in, more schooling, maybe like, because there's a lot of kids who are homeless and there's probably a correlation. It's probably taking all of that into account, as well as housing for homeless people with programs to get them the rehab or help that they need, whatever's keeping them homeless.
Yeah, and absolutely not everyone who's homeless is mentally ill. Euphonic.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Which is not what I said. But there is a large population of homeless people who are.
Yeah.
And those people need, in order to not be homeless forever, if they're going to like self-sustain, they need tools.
Mm-hmm.
So is the $20 billion going towards tools for that? And again, for how long?
Yeah.
Because I just don't really trust these stats. Like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm making any sense.
No, it does.
And also, like, some people are really, really behind on rent and are staying in their places, and then they will be homeless soon. So does it take care of people who might be homeless based on this, or just people who are currently homeless? And like, also some people are crashing with their friends or what, like, what even, how, I think a lot of people don't have homes that don't identify that way. If you live in your car, are you homeless?
Yeah.
Because legally you can do that in California now. So I don't know. Anyway, just my mind wandering a little bit. Speaking of more fuck no news, because that's what we got going on today. There were 35 former Ellen Show employees that are coming forward with allegations of sexual harassment and sexual misconduct. This Ellen has had some really fucking bad press recently.
Really?
Are you saying really like you didn't know that?
No, really big
really?
hits.
Yeah. I think that it felt like Oprah was number one untouchable loved, but Ellen felt right underneath that for a really long time. She obviously is an incredible host, a ridiculous talent, an icon in the LGBTQIA plus community, and has done a lot of good for a lot of people. However, it seems like behind the scenes, there's been a little bit of a dumpster fire going on, and people might not have been aware of this. First, we were hearing allegations of, I don't even know how to phrase this, just like not sexual misconduct, just misconduct, like mean bullying type treatment behind the scenes.
It's like really like kind of almost intolerable to work with.
Right. And then now this is coming out. So I was surprised to hear this even after what we had heard, because I've heard a lot of things. I have friends who have worked for her on the show, and I've had a lot of colleagues who have as well. And I had heard some negative things, but I had never heard any sexual allegations of misconduct or otherwise. Steph, what was your initial thoughts when you saw this?
They were really bad. It was a lengthy article with a lot of testimony and
35 testimonies.
A lot. And I mean, it makes sense that right now is the time that people are outing things, because the pandemic has kind of taken the blindfolds up and you just like really see things for what they are, and a job where you're miserable or think really bad things have happened just won't cut it anymore. So I totally get that this would be an opportune time to share that. And they probably, a lot of them don't even know if they have job security coming back after this. So this is awful, though. A lot of the accounts that were told were really, really disgusting. And it's really hard for me to believe. I'm not saying it can't, it's not possible, but very hard for me to believe that Ellen wasn't aware of any of this.
Yeah, she put out an apology statement. But I feel you on that, Steph. Like, okay, so the article, at least that I saw, that I think is the article that broke it, that I read, was the BuzzFeed News one. Is that what you read as well? Okay, so Christy Lee Yendoli did an excellent job with this piece. That was the reporter. Just to fill you guys in a little bit, I'll read a little bit of it to you. Dozens of former Ellen Show employees say executive producers engaged in rampant sexual misconduct and harassment. Ex-employees said one executive producer had a reputation for being handsy with women, and that another solicited oral sex at a work party. And then the article goes on to, in detail, share more of that. I don't. It's anytime people say things like, well, it seems like the Me Too movement has like really cleared everybody out and everybody has aired out all their stuff and we won't be hearing much about this in the future. It's like, I don't even think we've seen the tip of the iceberg. Like, this has been happening everywhere forever.
Well, and so many of us are like, everyone in the industry is on an NDA. So we're not hearing about a lot of stuff, not because it's not happening or won't come up. It's because people are under strong NDAs, especially with those big companies like that. I mean, it's a scary thing to come out.
What do you think happens with Ellen? I know it's so hard to predict.
It's so hard to predict. She's taken two pretty big hits that kind of turn her from the most lovable auntie on earth to, I don't really know if we want to hear anything I don't know.
But okay, the first hit seemed more like a Steve Harvey hit. Remember when that email went out where it was like, don't look at me in the eyes when I walk through the hallways, don't talk to me, don't this. And it was just like, ooh, that's tough because, like, I guess you didn't do anything bad or illegal, but like, Steve, we thought that you were like the lovable. But he seemed to bounce back really quick from that. So the first thing I was like, all right, Ellen will recover from this because it is what it is. If she's a little bit mean to her staff, that sucks, but it seems like that might be what it is. This part is like, I don't know if it comes out, if there's tangible evidence at any point that she was aware this was happening, I don't know, especially because everything she stands for.
Well, and how many times she's gone, like when the Me Too was breaking moment, and she like spoke on it on her show a lot.
I know.
And got really deep about it. So, I mean, those things for me, just the inconsistency is not good for someone who is known for their consistency and loved for that consistency.
God, I'm just looking at this again. It's like Ellen's apology. She said, the show was supposed to be a place of happiness where everyone would be treated with respect. Quote, obviously something changed, and I'm disappointed to learn that this has not been the case. And for that, I am sorry. Anyone who knows me knows it's the opposite of what I believe and what I hoped for our show. End quote. What I will say about that is that's not true. I don't know that she's super self-aware of like what her reputation is. But when she says anybody who knows me knows that that's not how I feel, I don't know. I don't think that's true because I think these are all people who know you that are coming forward and questioning you.
Yeah, it's true.
So you can't really say like anybody who knows me knows this. It doesn't seem that way, Ellen.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
I've been a massive, massive super fan of her show for a really long time. You know, I went to a couple tapings of it. And I think that she's done it. This doesn't negate the fact that she's done a lot of good for a lot of people.
Oh my God. She brings me more joy than most people ever have brought me through a screen. And but I am like a person to a fault of merit where it's really hard for me to look past it. So I don't know. I will need more from her than that apology, truly.
Do you think it's possible that her show will just continue and this will just get brushed under the rug?
I don't know. It just also makes me think about and we talk about this so much, the insane amount of talent that there is. And maybe it's like you don't deserve that space anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not the one to make that decision. I think there's always redemption for most people.
You're just Fauci making a recommendation.
Yeah, I'm just making a recommendation. Who's to say? I'm not to say who makes the decision, but
Katie Robinson, the Good Witch, says, I got off the Ellen train with her support of Kevin Hart and weak response about George Bush. Not a great look on her from the queer community. The response about George Bush, I don't remember. Do you remember what that was?
Oh, just about when she hung out with George Bush and said that she's friends with him?
Oh, the Kevin Hart one I remember is when jokes reappeared that he had made that were like saying that if his son was queer, and it's just horrible jokes that he had made. And then he was supposed to be hosting the Oscars and then he wasn't. And Ellen threw him a couple softballs and was pretty like, this is okay. And a lot of people in the LGBTQIA plus community were not happy about that. And I don't really think it's my place to say whether or not she handled that well. But I hear you, Katie. And yeah, I don't think you're alone in people falling off the Ellen train. Shitty thing to talk about. We'll keep you guys posted on more allegations as they come up or whatever happens with Ellen. Going to the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Gingerbread says, hey, Rox. Hey, Mayor Steph. Did you guys already talk about Courtney Cox returning for Scream? What are y'all favorite horror movies? I didn't even know that she was. Did that come out?
I didn't know that either.
I love Courtney Cox.
I'm not a big Scream gal, though.
Yeah. What are your favorite horror movies?
I get really scared So if I'm gonna watch it, because I get really bad nightmares, if I'm gonna watch a scary movie, I need it to have purpose. So it's more like horror thriller. So like Get Out or
Oh yeah,
yeah, those types of movies. Invisible Man was like
so good.
so good to me, but so scary.
Do you think that was the best movie of the year so far?
It was really, yeah, I would, that one shook me. I was like, damn,
Yeah, it
this
was
is
really
good.
good. It was really good. I agree. I don't even know what other contenders there are. There have been so few movies this year. Also, Ghislaine Maxwell. I guess let's talk about it for a little. I'm tired of talking about her.
You could, if you sat me down and you said, Steph, write the most evil super villains you could possibly write. Her and Jeffrey Epstein, I couldn't make up. They're
It's so fucked up.
monsters.
Is it typical, Steph, that the court will release documents like this prior to a trial?
Yeah, it happens. The judges don't like it because it will sway public opinion.
Right.
But
That's what I would think.
yeah, but you can fight for it in certain regards to the case, depending on what the prosecutor is presenting. But yeah, it happens.
Okay. Well, they unsealed the documents that kind of contradicted what she had been claiming, which is that she had not been in contact with Jeffrey Epstein for over a decade. And emails were produced that show her, like, it looks like there's no introduction to it. It's just a draft of what, when he was accused of everything, like what she was going to say that she had no knowledge of. And he writes back to her and he's like, this looks good to me. You are an innocent woman. You should be acting like it. Go outside. Go to parties. I've been talking to some of my rich friends. They said that they would welcome you open arms. You just act innocent because you are. And it's like, I'm sure he knew at some point that email was going to get read. But also, who are these fucking people who continued to socialize with them when it was clear what was happening? Who is everything about her just fucking pisses me off. You speak.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think there's no way that these people didn't know that in writing anything could be presented. So this is definitely like a backup thing. You're never going to indict yourself online on an email. No one's going to do that, truly.
You're not an idiot.
Especially as someone who had like a satanic evil thing going for years. It's planned, it's thorough, there's no mistakes. So I just think that it's not going to play out. She's going to rot.
But it did look like he was asking for her she was asking for his permission, because when he responded, he said, okay with me. Like, ew.
Yeah, because she wants to make you, when you have two people that are going to be involved in each other's trials, you have to have the same story. And so what she says has to comply with what he's saying. So of course,
it never ended up mattering because he killed himself.
Yeah.
This is part of the email. He said, you have done nothing wrong, and I would urge you to start acting like it. Go outside, head high, not as an escaping convict. Go to parties, deal with it. I had Lisa Svensson, the Swedish ocean ambassador, yesterday say that no one on her ocean panel takes this stuff seriously, and you would be welcome to the ocean conference, water conference, etc. By the way, there's like 80 spelling mistakes in this. It's like, fucking spell your emails right.
Yeah.
Just the whole thing is like, ew, fucking ew. And we're going to be talking about it for so much longer.
Yeah, and if you're innocent, you're not asking for permission.
Right.
You know, you would act innocent.
You would hate him and you would be like, this is disgusting what I'm hearing about him. I'm not communicating with him anymore.
And you would know not to talk to him anymore because it's that you're like instigating in an investigation. So no, it's all fake.
You and I are both like, I've never heard us both be so over something.
She's a fucking monster.
A monster. There's just like such levels of monsters, and it's so challenging because she, like, when we're talking about the Ellen situation, like, I'm really upset about that. And if she knew, that's fucked. But then there's Ghislaine Maxwell. Like, she just like, I mean, if you want to feel good about yourself, compare yourself to Ghislaine Maxwell.
Yeah.
Like, Ellen should this weekend watch Filthy Rich so she can sit there and be like, what I did.
I have work to do, but not that much.
Yeah, just like fucking disgusting. We are getting out of here, guys. Thank you so much for joining us today live at the Stexy. Also, shout out to Glenda for keeping me company this entire time. Steph, where can everybody keep up with you until tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay.
At Steph Sabraw.
Go look at her Instagram story because she posted such a beautiful picture of her grandma and of her tattoo. And also follow her just everywhere she is because she says great things. You've been doing really great on Twitter recently too.
Thanks.
Just
I've been
throwing
trying
it out there.
to get some thoughts there.
Little bunny foo foo. All right, guys, stay safe until tomorrow. Do everything you can to try to make this feel like the weekend. I don't know. Watch a movie, drink a glass of wine, smoke a doobie, go for a walk, call a friend, anything like that. But stay safe and wear a fucking mask. Love you guys lots and see you tomorrow, 1 p.m. live with Roxy.